to my channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for choosing to watch this video. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, kindly hit the subscribe button. My name is Fisayo Patrick, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how to get started with your branding as a beginner business owner. I worked on a website for a company, and the IT manager, who also doubled as the brand manager, gave me a really tough time. This was someone that was so confident in the things that he knew that nobody else's idea was important. It had to always be his own idea, and as a result of this, it cost the organization a lot of money and a lot of time. Let me ask you a question. So as a creative, have you ever been called in to come fix an error in an organization that was caused by someone in that organization? So for instance, someone attempted to run an ad and they got stuck, and then you were called to fix it. Or somebody attempted to build a website, something they know they have absolutely no knowledge about. They attempted it, they got stuck, and then they called you in, and then you came in to fix it, and you were having issues with the supposed manager of that unit. So that was what happened. So that experience made me realize that as much as people talk about branding, not everybody know so much about it. So I used to talk about branding a lot in all my platforms until I switched to creating an online business. But I just feel the need to come and talk about this again. You might think that everybody know what branding is about, but it will shock you to realize that people just have the head knowledge. They don't know how to build it into their journey. Okay, so in this video, we are going to be talking about how to get started with branding as a beginner business owner. Branding is that process that helps you to captivate people and make them follow your story so intimately that they begin to feel a connection with you. It's more than just your visuals, right? It's an experience. Like the one a lot of women have with their skincare brands, like the one a lot of men have with their sneakers brands, something like that. I feel that anytime people are talking about branding, they like to always refer to the big brands, whereas even small brands are getting it right. So sometimes we need to leave those big brands and focus on the small brands. Your favorite restaurants, your favorite skincare products, your favorite hair products, how they've been able to create a connection between you and them, how they've been able to create an experience. Talk about how to get started as a beginner business owner, right? So I don't think that it is right to start using Coca-Cola or Starbucks as examples. Okay, so if you are a beginner business owner, if you are a business owner, a small business owner, an online business owner, and you want to know how to get it right with branding, here is how to start. Number one is to identify your core values, your own values. I'm not talking about any superfluous company values. I'm talking about identifying the values that you have as an individual. So our values are what influence us to make every decision we make. They influence us to take every step we take. Everything we say, right, is our values that help us, that influence our decisions. They influence our speech. They influence our conversations. Guess what? They influence our behavior. They also influence our jobs, right? They influence our businesses. They influence the projects that we take on. Heck, they influence the way that we create our designs or the way that we write our copies. Look, the sooner you get clear on your core values, the easier it is for you to show up, to network, to market your business, to scale your business. So one of my own core values is speed. One of the things that I like is speed. I don't like when things are slow. I don't like when things are dragging. I like it when you can go straight to the point, right? I hate it when I'm using a technology, a tech tool, for instance, and it's not fast, right? So that's one of the things that I like. I like it when things work fast. So whenever I'm doing a client work, whenever I'm supposed to create content for social media, whenever I'm supposed to maybe publish on a client's YouTube, I want to do it fast. I want to get it up fast. I want it to get up before the time that I said it will get up. Because if I were the client and I have somebody who has promised to post a video at so time and it's not yet up, I will feel somehow. So whenever I'm dragging my feet, I remind myself that I need to deliver with speed and with timeliness. If one of your core values is If one of your core values is collaboration, then you know that you need to work with people. You know that you need to work with other people. You need to be part of a team. you always want to do things with others in mind, right? You always want to create something and bring people on board. So knowing what you value the most will help to influence how you behave, the things that you do. It will help to create a reputation for your business, which is directly creating a brand or an impression in the minds of people, and that's all there is. Number 2, choose simple visuals. When in doubt, go for simple at all times. You see, there are a lot of interesting and educational topics on the internet that can teach you a lot about choosing visuals. I think that because we have access to Canva, because we have access to there's Canva on our laptop, there's Canva on our phone, we know how to use Photoshop. Whenever we want to create our visuals, we just jump and just pick something. We just use the logo maker to design a logo. We just use Canva to combine designs. We go to Pinterest to get color palettes. Those things are really important, and they are very good ways of DIYing things for yourself. But you really need to sit down and do a lot of research. So for instance, there's something called color theory. Color theory teaches you how to mix colors for your brand, right? It teaches you guidelines that you can use to communicate design colors in your designs. Also, there is psychology of design that helps you to understand users. As a designer, it helps you to understand what users will find appealing or not. There is also iconography. So I think that you need to know all these things before you start choosing logo formats, before you start designing logos, before you start choosing color palettes for your brand. So see, I don't have any problem with DIYing because I DIYed everything myself, right? I created my logo myself, I chose my color palette, I created my website, and I've been creating my design elements myself. But the problem I have with many of us is that we don't do a lot of research before we start choosing our visuals. And when we get stuck, so along the line we get stuck, right? I have a friend who is battling with a company logo because when the company was started, somebody just picked something off the internet, and now they can't scale the design, they can't create the design in any format because it was just taken off the internet. So now he has to suffer to redesign the design and make it look like exactly the one that was gotten off the internet. So many times when we do that, when we choose visuals without research, we give creatives problems, we give ourselves problems down the line. So before you create your logo, I think it's just the right thing to do a little bit of research to find out, just have a big picture thinking when you're designing anything. Find out what your logo will look like in the next 3 to 5 years. Look at how it can scale. Learn what you need to do to make sure that someone else can work on the logo in the next 5-6 years. You want to make sure that what you are creating right now is timeless. So using trends to design your visuals is the wrong move ever, because you want to create something that when a new generation comes, they can still relate with it. You want to create something that is evergreen. Also, when you're trying to choose your color palettes, understand the color theory, like I said. Understand the color wheel. Know what colors complement each other. Know what colors mean. Know what color red means. Know what color blue means. Know what green or brown or ash means. Don't just use something because you like it. Do a lot of research. And guess what? If you can't do research, then pay somebody to do that for you. Make sure that everything is done properly. Also, as part of your visuals, when you are planning or when you're thinking of the kind of pictures to use for your brand, you need to really think big picture. You need to do a lot of research. The kinds of photos you use for your brand visuals will determine whether your brand will be classified as premium or cheap. The highly visual world that we are in today necessitates quality pictures. So what are the things that you can do to make sure that you're using premium pictures? Number one, hire a photographer to take headshots of you, or full body shots, or pictures of things that that are associated with your brand. Number two, you can subscribe to platforms that offer stock photos. Number three, you can DIY your own photos. So I have a few pictures that I took with an iPhone. These pictures were taken with an iPhone and they were not edited at all. So I use these iPhone pictures for my brand. Now these ones were taken with a camera, like a real camera, right? Now I have stock photos platform that I subscribe to, and I use them when I need to. So I make sure that my pictures are really quality, because I would prefer to see this one on a page than to see this one on a page. This one screams premium brand. This one screams the complete opposite of a premium brand. So we are done with brand visuals. Then the third thing to consider is your website. People will come to your website to learn about you, to learn about your products and services, and most importantly, to hire you. So you want to make your website one of the most important and well thought out things that you would ever build in your brand or in your business. So when you're starting out, it's very important that you have a website because you want to showcase your product, you want to showcase your services. You can only do so much with a social media platform, but don't just jump into creating a website. Don't just get a domain name, get a hosting plan, and start building. You need to create a plan for your website. So what do you want your website to achieve for you? Do you want it to be a place where people go to read your articles and hire you for writing services? Do you want it to be a place where people go to and see all the great works you've done and then, hire you? Do you want people to go there and learn about your services and hire you? You see that part is really important. You want people to hire you, except maybe you are doing, maybe it's an exhibition website. You just want people. Why would you even be exhibiting something if the end goal is not for people to hire you? So you want to make sure that your website is created in such a way that is getting people in, and people are not leaving without taking the step that you want them to take, which is to send you a message. The fourth thing is your social media platforms. So you don't want to start with multiple social media platforms, but you don't want to start with less either. So I recommend having Twitter, having Facebook and Instagram as one platform, having Twitter, having either TikTok or LinkedIn, depending on the service that you offer or the products that you sell, depending on your target audience. So the brand visuals that you have created, that's your logo, your color palette, and your pictures, now have to shine through in your social media. And don't forget that you will also be using them on your website. Part of knowing color theory and then studying the color wheel is to know the kind of colors that you would choose. So if you want it to be all green, there are different shades of green, and there's a way you can arrange it. If you want it to be brown, there are different shades of brown or different shades of nude. You want to make sure that you are not using more than these colors that you have picked. But if you are using neon green on your website, and then on your Instagram we are seeing something like bluish green, that's an error, except it's your color palette. But you need to make sure that the colors complement each other. So understand that, because you want to maintain that cohesion for brand recognition. So now, what will you share on social media? You want to share your story, you want to share valuable content, you want to share your expertise, and you want to make sure that you are sharing what your target audience need. You want to make sure that you are sharing value at all times. You are teaching people, you are informing people. Except you are an influencer, I don't think you should be sharing pictures of you eating at the 5-star restaurant all the time. There are people that you go through their Instagram account and it's all about them living the soft life. So if that is what your brand is about, fine and good. But if that is not what your brand is about, yes, you can post pictures like that, but you want to make sure that there is a balance. You want to make sure that people are coming there to get value. So be an expert and share with confidence. Last but not the least is give yourself time to grow. So it's not as if as soon as you start doing all these things, you start growing. It's going to take time. It's going to take a while. You have to give yourself time. It will take time for people to know you. It will take time for people to trust you, like you, and become your raving fans. You have to be patient. You have to make sure that you keep building. You're learning from your mistakes. You're learning from your failures. You're doing more research. You are increasing your knowledge. You're developing yourself so that you can continue to share expert value. Because never forget one thing: you are not the only one who is sharing the things that you're sharing on social media. You're not the only one who is doing whatever it is that you're doing right now. You're not the only one. There are thousands of people who also share the same solutions that you share, who also share the same value that you share. So it is your brand that sets you apart from the next person. And for your brand to be able to do that, you need to be deliberate about building it. So those are my 5 recommendations for you if you want to build your brand. I hope that you start, putting it into effect now, and we'll see where it goes. If you've loved this video, please like it, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Also, follow me on Instagram at Fisayo Patrick 1. I will see you in the next video.